Good morning, everyone. It is Saturday, February 18th, 2017. And hey, I want to say welcome. If you are new to my channel, I don't know how you found me, but I'm glad you did. And I'm glad you're here. Hey, look, I give you a unique look into my world. My videos talk about what I do just so you can try to get a little morsel of information so you can be a better trader, make some money, get motivated. That's what I do. I don't profess to be a teacher. I don't charge anybody anything. But watching my videos, I think you'll pick something out that will benefit you and build on your financial education. Hey, look, I want to say thank you to all those folks that come to my channel. They bang that subscribe button because they want a notification the next time I do a red hot covered call video. And hey, hit that like button. Let me know you like it and leave me a comment. Always love the comments. It gets me jacked to do the next one. Hey, look, let's get right to it. I'm going to do my version of the poor man's covered call. But hey, look, you have to give me some runway. You have to let me do this in 3 parts. Yes, 3 parts. Hey, look, if you Google or if you YouTube poor man's covered call, most of the videos are going to be an hour long. And I'm with you. I can't sit there for an hour, listen to these guys in seminars just dragging on. And then they don't even answer what I believe to be some of the most critical questions about this strategy. There's risk. Okay? So I'm going to try to break it down into 3 videos. I'm going to talk about the poor man's covered call, try to give you a little example with Microsoft. Then I'm going to do positives. Then I'm going to do negatives, try to keep those videos short. But there is a lot to consume here for the first timers. And trust me, it is something you need a financial education for. But I'm here to give you the best version of the poor man's covered call video. Here we go. All right, I put together this little presentation window. I always like going live, showing you my live stuff. But hey, I have to do a presentation here. Because it gives me the ability to just talk about things, okay, that need to be said. So, again, poor man's covered call. We're going to talk about this today. So, if I'm going too quick, pause the video, get yourself some coffee, kick back, read this stuff, okay? I need you to absorb it. I need you to understand the fundamentals of it. Because it's not like buying 100 shares of stock, writing the covered call, and then collecting the premium and just going away and everything works out for you. With the poor man's covered call, we're talking options. You have to have a level 3, level 4 account. And what that means is you're dealing with naked call options, which have expiration dates. They can expire worthless. You need to understand that. At least with the damn stock, you own the stock. But in this case, you need to know. So there's tons of information here. I've done the best on my research, but hey, never take it for fact. I need you to use this as a springboard for your research. Maybe you find something of worthy on somebody else's video, piece it together, build your foundation, then you can move forward. Hey, all of my information is from Fidelity. I actually called the options trading desk, talked to them about this strategy. I needed 100% clarity on a couple issues that we're going to talk about, and we're going to talk about it. Also, this option strategy involves naked options. They could expire worthless. Highly suggest you get your financial education. Everything in this slide is 100 shares. So when I say 100 shares, 1 contract, okay, you understand we're talking 100 shares, 1 contract. Extrapolate that out to how many contracts you would buy. But for me, in this slide, 100. And hey, never invest more than you're willing to lose. So the poor man's covered call is this, okay? The poor man's covered call acts like a typical covered call, where the end result is you're selling the short options to make the guaranteed covered call income. So we know what a covered call is, right? I hope we do. Okay, you buy 100 shares, you're then going to write a covered call based off of that 100 shares you own. You're going to give somebody the right but not the obligation to buy your shares at a price at a time. Okay? But you're covered. You own the shares. If you were to sell that covered call, collect the premium, walk off the planet, okay, your brokerage is going to either have your shares assigned, or you're going to keep your shares, keep your premium if the stock never reaches your strike in the expiration period. It happens automatically. However, with a covered call, poor man's covered call strategy, what they're trying to do here is they're saying, look, if I buy 100 shares of Microsoft, that's going to cost me $6,200. $6,200. But what if we replace that Microsoft stock with a 2-year long leap call option, 10% in the money, maybe pay $10 a share? So remember what you're doing. You're buying a 2-year long leap call option, 10% in the money on Microsoft. You're buying the right, but not the obligation to buy somebody's shares 10% in the money at the time of this transaction. So in a sense, you're protected with parameters. You're protected. Okay? You're not covered because you don't own the shares, but you own the right, but not the obligation to buy somebody's shares 2 years from now, 10% in the money at the time you write this option. So let's use for hypothetical that that's $62 for Microsoft stock. You would buy a 10% in the money, 2-year long leap call option, cost you $10. Okay? So instead of upfronting the $6,200 to buy the 100 shares of stock, you're only upfronting the $1,000, right? Because you're buying that 2-year long leap, one contract. That's the ability to buy somebody's shares. That's going to cost you $10. That's $1,000. So you can see the upfront investment is much less than the $6,200 in buying the stock outright. And you sort of have the same functionality. Okay? You have the same functionality where now you own the right but not the obligation to take somebody's shares away from them at a 10% discount. Okay, wherever the stock's trading, let's say it's 40. Let's 10%, that's $52. Okay, Microsoft's at 62. You have the right but not the obligation to buy somebody's shares at 52. Okay? So again, the poor man's portion of this covered call really is the fact that you're not buying the shares, you're buying a 2-year long leap, and that 2-year long leap is considerably cheaper than actually outright buying the shares. Okay? So that's a major difference here and something you need to understand, because with that comes you have to have an account that allows for level 3 and level 4 options, because that 2-year long leap is a naked call option you're buying. Now, once you have that in your hand, because you have level 3 and level 4, you can actually sell call options. You can actually sell the short-term call option. So again, the first part of the poor man's covered call is buying that leap for protection. You're not covered, protection. And then you're going to sell the near-term out of the money strike, probably 1 month out of the money strike, and collect the same premiums we do when we own the shares and we write covered calls. Okay? So the difference is, instead of buying the shares, you're buying the leap for protection. Again, you're not covered. You got to understand that difference. You're not covered. You're protected in the moment. And we're going to talk about that. That's going to be one of the disadvantages of this, because at the end of the day, you're buying the right to buy somebody's shares. And if the stock falls, we're going to talk about that in video number 3. But let's continue on here. Again, the major benefit is less capital up front. Again, you're buying the stock at, in this case, $50 would cost you $5,000. Instead, you buy the 2-year long leap, 10% in the money. It's going to cost you $1,000. So you can see right off the bat up front, it's going to be cheaper. I get that. Okay? So by buying the leap call option versus the stock, what does that do? What does that function here? Because you hear people in the video say, oh, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. But what is the real function there? Well, basically, you're buying that 2-year long leap to essentially protect you, okay, with an asterisk, protect you, but you're paying less money up front, okay? There is 100% risk of owning shares, 100% shares. 100 shares. Yes, there's risk there. There's also 100% risk of owning the long leap call option as well. Hey, you buy a stock, that could fall down to nothing too. There's always risk. You need to know your risk tolerance. But again, it's $5,000 versus $1,000. Okay? Now, people ask the question, why the 2-year long leap, 10% in the money? Hey, look, I am not going to profess to be an expert here. See that video right there? I want you to pause this video, go to that. After you watch this video, go to this video from Trading Block and watch how he explains theta and how buying the stock right now, Microsoft stock at 62, versus buying the 2-year long leap 10% in the money call option, the thetas. Okay, remember there's Greeks involved with options, delta, theta, you get it, right? Well, the theta that tracks the stock versus the 2-year long leap 10% in the money are almost 1-to-1 based on this video, based on his opinion. And I agree with it. I ain't going to debate it. Sounds about right to me. Watch that video, okay? All right? But again, why we buy the 10% in the money really has to do with how it tracks very nicely with the theta, with the actual purchases of the stock. Now, a poor man's covered call, is a misnomer. Okay, calling it a poor man's covered call insinuates a poor man or woman can do it. Okay, you can actually do it if you're poor. Boy, I tell you what, here's where the hook is. Okay, you're going to need a level 3, level 4 account. And you're going to see in the next slide that ain't cheap. Okay? So you have to have, so getting back to the core here. If a trade goes wrong for you, you've written that short-term 1 month out of the money strike, just one deviation out of the money strike, you collect that premium, your shares are taken away from you. Okay? You have to have the money to clear the debt in your account. So we're talking $6,200 versus versus $1,000. It all sounds rosy on the upfront, but at the end of the day, you need that $6,200 in your account. Now, with a level 3, level 4, you're going to have margin. Margin debt has debt payments, has percentage you have to pay because you're borrowing money. There's percentages here, okay, that you're going to have to pay. Got to factor that into your cost basis and your profitability. But the misnomer here is that the poor man's covered call suggests that any poor person can do it. Not really. Not really. Okay? What it does though, it does imply that there's a poor man portion of it, and there is. Instead of buying the $6,200 straight up in stock, you're only spending $1,000. And we're going to talk about the positives that brings. Okay? Because you could be more diversified. Okay? But again, if your shares are assigned, you have to clear that 100 share debt in your account. So what kind of account do you need? Yes, to do naked options. Most accounts are going to require level 3, level 4. Level 3, level 4 includes naked call options, buying and selling, uncovered options and margins. Notice fidelity is going to require a balance of $20,000 in the account. So you can see right off the bat, you got to have at least $20K. Not much poor about this, okay? But I think you get the concept right now. And then finally, let's spend a little bit of time right here in terms of what that short option, what happens if your shares are assigned and you actually don't own the shares. So hang with me here. We're going to end the video here. Okay, I'm going to do a quick recap leading into this. So let's visualize what we have done. What we have done is instead of buying the stock outright and then writing the 1 month out of the money call option to collect that monthly guaranteed income, we have decided to buy the 2-year long leap, 10% in the money, saving us money up front. Now, that only gives us the option to buy somebody's shares from them. We don't actually own the shares. One of the biggest questions in these YouTube videos is what happens if your shares are assigned. It's a Friday afternoon. You let the market get away from you. You're doing something. That short-term call option, right? The call option we sell for the monthly guaranteed income, it comes due. You don't own the shares. How is that handled? To me, this is the number one question. Well, I called Fidelity on this. I talked to their trading options board help desk, and we talked about it. And here is how it works. So imagine you have sold the 1 month out of the money strike to collect that premium. Friday happens, you find yourself not able to buy the option back, roll it over, it expires. Okay? You now have a debit because it expired higher than your strike price. They're clearly going to take your shares. You now have a debit. You have a debit now. Well, a lot of people assume that on Saturday, the market maker is going to come in and exercise your 2-year-long leap option, then providing you with the 100 shares that is needed to give this cat that took your shares from you, okay, his 100 shares. That's not how it works. Not how it works. Okay? Your 2-year-long leap never gets exercised on its own until expiration. When it expires 2 years from now, it would expire automatically. Until then, you have to take action. So, with that said, it's Saturday morning. The market maker comes in. He sees that the option that you sold for the short-term guaranteed income is over the strike price. They're going to assign you shares. Your account will now show a debit of 100 shares. Now, in the case of Fidelity, they're going to let you come in on Monday morning and make a decision. They're going to say, hey, look, you got a 100-share debit of XYZ stock. How are you going to clear that debit? Now, you may have the cash, buy the shares at the current market value, which would then provide the 100 shares, which would clear your 100-share debt. Or you could come in and exercise your 2-year-long leap that you bought for protection, taking somebody's shares, then hence giving you the ability to provide those 100 shares, erasing your 100-share debt. Okay? That's why the 2-year-long leap is protection, because it gives you the ability to buy those shares at a cheaper price, right? So you make a little bit of money, but with that said, you can clear the 100-share debt in your account. Okay? So again, your shares are taken away. You're sitting there Saturday, your shares are assigned. You have a 100-share debit in your account. Come Monday morning, you could either provide the money to buy the shares, or you exercise your 2-year-long leap, clearing your debt. But here's the deal. If you do nothing, the brokerage debt account office is going to call you up and say, hey, how do you want to deal with this? Because we got to take care of this. Okay? So, with that said, hope you learned something there. And we're going to talk about the positives and negatives in the next two, because there are positives and there are negatives that you need to know. Okay? So with that said, I think what I'm going to do here real quick is I'm going to step over here to a little Microsoft here. I'm going to show you sort of what we're talking about here. So again, here's a visual. We have bought this 2-year-long leap way out here. It's $64. So in this case, we're going to buy this nice $64 leap for, let's say, $10. Okay? You're back here. You're writing that one deviation. Say the stock's here. You're writing that one deviation out of the strike price. Right? You're getting like 80 cents. And every single month, two things are happening. One, the shares do not go above your strike price, meaning you keep your premium. You don't have to pony up 100 shares. Or the shares go above it, like in the case of Microsoft here. Clearly, before expiration, we're going to have to do something. We're going to have to take action. And that action could be buying back that option. Okay, there's going to be real money involved in that option price now. You're going to buy it back and then sell the next one. Okay, again, we start to get into some serious exit strategies. This strategy is for the advanced player. I am not going to kid you here. But if you've been watching my videos, I think you're already advanced to be doing exit strategies where you buy it, you pay the profit and cost, you sell the next one. Okay, but that's sort of the deal here. As this option expires worthless, we keep the premium, we write another call. Okay, as it goes above the call option, we're going to then have to, on that expiration Friday, buy the option back, then write the next call. Hopefully that will tail under. We then keep our premium, we write the next call. Okay. Now, in the negatives video, we're going to talk about what happens when your stock falls under the price of your 2-year-long leap price, because that's where the real problems start. Because guess what? You're not protected anymore. Something to think about. Hey, look, I do hope you learned something from this. I hope I didn't move too quick. If I did, go back to the video, stop and pause it and read it. If you got any questions, hit me up down below. Again, next video is going to be positives, then the negatives. I do hope you learned something from this video. And hey, until next time, I hope all your covered calls are profitable.
All I see is signs, all I see is dollar signs. Oh, money on my mind.